Good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock, so we will begin our Ayrshire and Red and White show. Ayrshires will be showing on the east side of Cooper Arena and entering through the center. Red and Whites will be showing on the west side, nearest the viaduct. Because it's raining, we may try for both to enter in the centers because of the distance. Hopefully we can do it with two smaller shows. But Ayrshires will be east, Red and Whites west. We're ready to roll. In our Ayrshire ring today, our judge is Mr. Ryan Benter from Brownstown, Indiana. Ryan was raised on a small dairy farm where he grew up milking and showing Holsteins, Brown Swiss, Ayrshires, and milking Shorthorn, along with his family. That shared passion of dairy cattle continues today at Benter Family Farms, where he remains actively involved in breeding, raising, and exhibiting cattle at the county, state, and national levels. He and his family have been fortunate to exhibit several nominated All-Americans as well as multiple All-Americans and Reserve All-Americans. Ryan graduated from Purdue University with a degree in agriculture business management and competed as a member of the 2018 Purdue Dairy Judging Team. Today, he coaches the Jackson County Dairy Judging Team and serves as a dedicated 4-H volunteer. Ryan has judged for both the Indiana State Judging Contest and the National FFA Dairy Judging Contest. He's also judged numerous county fairs across Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, and in the past 2 years has had the honor of serving as official judge at the Indiana State Fair, Kentucky State Fair, and the North American Livestock Expo. Let's welcome our Ayrshire judge today, Ryan Benter.
In our red and white ring, Jason Lloyd is our judge today. Jason is a partner in Maple Downs Farm 2 in Middleburg, New York, which he operates alongside his wife, Lexi, breeding Holsteins under the Maple Downs prefix. They have seen much show ring success and have bred several All-Americans and over 130 excellent cows. Jason has also been involved in several successful partnerships. Most notably, he was part of the partnership that developed MD Delight Durham Atlee ET, as well as bred the popular show ring sire Maple Downs I GW Atwood ET. Jason has judged extensively throughout the Northeast and Midwest, including the Wisconsin Spring Show, Wisconsin State Fair, North American International Livestock Exposition, New York Spring Dairy Carousel, and the New York State Fair. He has also traveled to Brazil, Peru, and the Dominican to judge. Most recently, Jason judged Uruguay's National Holstein Show and the Illinois State Holstein Show. Jason and Lexi keep busy on the farm, milking 125 registered Holsteins, as well as tending to boarded show cattle of 6 different breeds. They also have run a successful show care program that has produced several All-American nominations. In addition, the farm works 1,000 acres of cropland and does 2,000 acres of custom work. Jason is actively involved with the New York Holstein Association and is a member of the National Holstein Association Show Committee. Please welcome our judge, Jason Lloyd.
This could be trouble. I'm not singing. I don't sing. I don't sing. I don't dance. No. In our spring heifer calf class for Ayrshire show, entry 370 is second, Brian Klein with Klein's Wishers Riddle Riot, and winning the class, entry 372, Tanner Top with Top Glen Reynolds Wishy. Judge Benter.
Just a beautiful Ayrshire spring heifer calf class, almost separated off into pairs of twos. And this top two pair, it's their size, it's their scale, it's their length and femininity from end to end that gets them to the top. But the heifer that I'm starting with today just has so much strength and power in that front end, carries that all the way through while having a feminine and stylish look and handling herself on a great set of feet and legs. Taking nothing away from this beautiful, strong heifer here in second. It's her size and her scale that gets us over this nice, very dairy heifer here in third. Heifer here in third, I appreciate the sweep and the openness to the rib. A heifer that I would like to see that tail head set just a little bit neater between those pin bones, but it's the way that she tracks out and those width between the hocks that gets us over this heifer here in fourth. Heifer here in fourth, I appreciate the spring and capacity to the rib today. Just would really like to see her walk on just a little more freely on those rear legs, but it's her overall style, balance, and angularity that gets us over this heifer here in fifth. Fifth heifer, I really appreciate. I love the smooth blending of lines. Just would like to maybe see that rump a little more level and walking on a little bit better set of feet and legs and some size and scale. But what a beautiful class to start off our day today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. In our spring heifer calf class, in your programs, 368 was sixth, 369 was fifth. 370 was second in the class, Brian Klein with Klein's Wishers Riddle Riot. 371 was fourth. 372 was the winner of the class, Tanner Top with Top Glen Reynolds Wishy. 367 was scratched, and 419 was third. Now showing our winner heifer calves of our Ayrshire show. In our Ayrshire ring, I would also like to introduce our Ohio Ayrshire Queen. It is Miss Christy Headings. She is the daughter of Dennis and Rebecca Headings. Christy is 17 years old and going into her senior year of high school at Fairbanks High School. This will be her 10th year in 4-H and going into her 4th year in FFA. Christy loves the Ayrshires and would like to wish all exhibitors the best of luck today. Thank you, Christy, and let's welcome her to our show.
Judge Lloyd has concluded with the placings in the spring heifer calf class. Second to Wakefield HS Georgia Red, exhibited by Wakefield Holsteins, and our winning spring calf is Firecrest Odd Bluff, exhibited by Delaney, Callie, and Cooper Barber. Judge Lloyd, your reasons.
Well, pleasure to be here in Ohio to judge the Reds today, and a really nice group to start the show off if this young boy wants to lead his heifer out. For me today, this heifer just mostly, just completely ready. A heifer that's got so much width throughout. She's a long frame heifer. She's got that long head and neck, clean. It is her development of her rib structure that takes her over this short age April heifer coming out in second. I told a young boy in second, man, I love your calf. I said if there's one I'd take home, it'd be this one. But she's just not ready in that midsection. She's not full enough today to compete with the heifer on top of her. But just such a pretty long frame heifer. A heifer born at the end of April. Heifer that's inch for inch longer than the next two heifers coming behind her. Walks on just a tremendous set of feet and legs. It is the feet and legs, the way she tracks, that takes her over. A beautiful deep rib heifer coming out in third. The third place calf, she's a little bit more open in that rib structure, a little bit more drop to her midsection. Again, I prefer the way she handles her rear legs on the move. They stay up underneath her just a little bit neater than the heifer in fourth. Fourth over fifth, give her an advantage of just being harder over that top line, a little less piecey for me. I prefer the way her shoulder and or her neck comes out of her shoulder than this big, massive heifer coming out in fifth. But really nice group of heifers to start your red and white show. Congratulations.
Winter heifer calves, please start coming into the ring. Results of our spring heifer calf class, we had 7 entries. 211 was fifth. 258 was our winning entry for Delaney, Callie, and Cooper Barber with Bearcrest Odd Bluff. 259 third. 261 fourth. 329 was our second place entry, Wakefield Holstein Farm with Wakefield HS Georgia Red. Entry 330 was sixth, and entry 729 was seventh. Assisting us this afternoon in our red and white ring, we have 2 royalty with us. The Ohio Holstein Queen, Brianna Workman. She is the daughter of Brent and Leanne Workman. They're from Belmont, Ohio. Their farm name is Key Ridge Shorthorns. She is currently a student at Ohio State ATI. She exhibits Holsteins and milking Shorthorns, along with beef Shorthorns at her county, state, and national levels. She was very active in FFA during high school and was 9th in the National Dairy Handling Contest in 2025. She's been a 4-H camp counselor for 5 years and at Dance Studio MC Performing Arts Center. She'd like to wish all the exhibitors the best of luck today and to everyone for supporting the Red and White Show. So we appreciate Brianne's assistance with presentations today. Assisting her is Savannah Ruthroff. She is the Ohio Holstein Queen First Attendant, and she's the daughter of Sean and Angie Ruthroff from Salem. She attends Ohio State ATI. She shows Holsteins and Brown Swiss at her county fair, and during high school was active in her FFA chapter, earning her state and national degree. At ATI, she's the OSU ATI Dairy Club president, and she'd like to thank everyone for supporting the red and white breed this afternoon, and good luck to all exhibitors. So again, thank you very much to these young ladies for assisting us in the show ring. Can we give them a nice round of applause?
In our winter heifer calf class in our Ayrshire ring, second place goes to entry 420, Tanner Top with Top Glen What You Thinkin'. And winning the class is entry 373, Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring with Hidden Springs Reynolds Raven, Judge Benter.
Just a beautiful dairy calf here to start off our class. Just a heifer that can't be denied first place. Just so much femininity from end to end. So much spring depth and openness to that rib. Super flat and clean in her bone. Just a heifer that puts a lot of pieces together and can stand her own. But it's her femininity and the overall capacity that gets us over this nice heifer here in second. Really appreciate the spring arch and openness to the rib of this heifer in second for her age. Shows me a lot of smooth blending in her parts from neck to shoulder, and that's how she gets over our heifer here in third. Heifer here in third, I appreciate the strength that this heifer has. Maybe you'd like to make her a tick dairy up there to withers, but a heifer that you really appreciate the way that she handles on those rear two and that capacity. And it's her overall balance and completeness that gets us over this very feminine calf here in fourth. Fourth heifer, I appreciate the length from end to end. Just leaves me wanting a little bit more in the depth of that chest and just a little more rear rib today. But it's her overall length from end to end and the way that she holds herself together over the top. It gets us over this well-grown February calf coming out here. But very beautiful class. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. In our winter heifer calf class of our Ayrshire show, in your programs, 376 was fourth. 373 was the winner of the class, owned by Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring, Hidden Springs Reynolds Raven. Entry 375 was fifth, 374 sixth, 377 third, and 420 was second in the class, owned by Tanner Top, Top Glen What You Thinkin'. Now showing our fall heifer calves of our Ayrshire show.
We have several generous sponsors that we'd like to thank for sponsoring the Open Show Red and White Awards. They include Crimson Lane Farms, Golden Links Microbials, Charlie Gleisner, Oakvale Farm, Topview Farm, Miley Holsteins, Davenport Family, Macabob Farm, Triple T Holsteins, Hudson Farms, Willow Ray Farm, Jandy K Farm, Wabash Way Farm, Ackley Holsteins, Spring Long Acres, Richmond Farm, ST Genetics, Call, Dell Farm, and Steinway Farm. Thank you very much for your contributions to our show today. Judge Lloyd has concluded his placings in our winter heifer calf class, second place to MK Genetics with Miley Alpha GG Red, and our winning entry number 262, AC PF All the Rage Red ET, exhibited by Ackley, Jesse and Kylie Musey, and Jim and Val Spring. Judge, your reasons?
Another really good group of winter calves, and the top group. They're great from the top to the bottom. But the heifer for me in first. The heifer is just so much more leaner and cleaner. She's got that length of frame, pretty head and neck. Prefer the pitch of her rump over this powerhouse heifer coming out in second. The heifer in second, I just love the overall width and power, the width of her chest, that openness of her barrel, the dairyness of her frame. It is the ultra dairyness. She's a little bit more crisp than the heifer coming out in third. Furthermore, I prefer the way she handles her rear legs than the heifer coming out in third. Taking nothing away from this heifer in third, a massive frame heifer, a heifer that's got that tremendous openness of her rib, drop to her rib structure. She's really full in her rib structure. She has lots of width about her front end. It is the way she stands on those front legs, the drop to her rib structure, and the overall openness of her rib that takes her over this long frame heifer coming out in fourth. Fourth over fifth, heifer that just handles her feet and legs better. She's a beautiful heifer out on the move. She got a little more style than the heifer coming out in fifth. But great group from top to bottom. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Lloyd. Reading down your program, 212 was sixth. 262 was our winning entry, exhibited by Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey, with AC PF All the Rage Red ET. Entry 263 was fifth. 264 was scratched. 266 was second for MK Genetics with Miley Alpha GG Red. 267 was seventh. 268 was third. 269 was fourth. Fall heifer calves are now entering the ring.
In our fall heifer calf class of our Ayrshire show, entry 382 is second, Audrey Lammers with Bricker Farms King Cincy, and winning the class is entry 378, Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring with Palmyra Reynolds M. Georgie.
Just three tremendous heifers to start off our show today. But for me, the one that's the straightest in her lines, the dairiness and the cut, is going to win the class. She has her own problems. I'd like to give her just a little more strength and width in that chest. But it's her dairiness and her overall straightness and femininity that wins the class today. Taking nothing away from this heifer in second. When this young lady gets this heifer settled down, a heifer that we love this frame, we love the strength and power, maybe just like to dairy her up a tick just to compete with our class winner. But it's the way that she holds herself together over that top line and that strength and that capacity gets us over this really nice made heifer here in third. Heifer here in third, there's a lot of parts and pieces that I'd just like to give her a little more length and extension all the way through, and maybe have her track just a little bit straighter from those hocks. But it's her overall smooth blending of parts and style and balance that gets us over this very capacious heifer here in fourth. Heifer here in fourth shows us a lot of spring and arch to that barrel. Just would like to see her a little bit taller, just a little bit deeper to compete with our class winners. But it's that overall capacity, that midsection that gets us over our fifth place heifer. Just a very nice class. Congratulations.
In our fall heifer calf class in your programs, entry 381 was eighth, 383 was third, 382 was second in the class, Audrey Lammers with Bricker Farms King Cincy, 379 was sixth, 421 seventh, and entry 378 was the winner of the class, Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring with Palmyra Reynolds M. Georgie. Entry 384 was fourth, and 380 was fifth. Now showing our summer yearlings of our Ayrshire show. In our summer yearling class of our Ayrshire show, entry 386 was second in the class, Morgan Eads with Darby View Destin's Dream. And winning the class is entry 385, Keith Bartow with Link C Bejeweled. Judge Benter.
Here in our Ayrshire Summer Yearling class, for me, I'm going to go with the heifer that has the least amount of faults. I appreciate the straightness of the lines, the sweep and capacity of the rib. It's really the way that she handles on those rear legs and the width of chest that gets us over this nice, well-grown heifer here in second. I really appreciate the style and presence of this heifer, just a heifer that leaves me wanting more. I'd like to see her a little bit deeper in that heart and just show me a little more depth and openness to that rib today. But it's her style and her balance that gets her over this, what I would call kind of a problem heifer for me here in third. I love the strength and capacity of this heifer. Just a heifer that I'd like to change, especially in that rump area. Throw those thurls just a little farther forward. I think that would help her handle on her feet and legs just a little bit better. But it's her size, her scale, and her capacity that gets us over this nice heifer in fourth. Heifer in fourth, I love the sweep and openness to the rib. Just a heifer that I'd like to see blend a little bit more smoothly from shoulder to barrel and just track a little bit straighter when viewed from behind. But four nice calves. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. In our summer yearling class in your programs, 386 was second, Morgan Eads with Darby View Destin's Dream. 387 was fourth, 385 was first, Keith Bartow, Link C Bejeweled, and 388 was third. Now showing our spring yearling Ayrshire heifers.
Judge Lloyd has completed the fall heifer calf class. Second place is 274, exhibited by Braxton, Finley, and Grayson Elsaw with Quiet Silver, Brielle Red ET. And winning the class is Plainfield Farms and Ackley with AC PF All-Star Red ET. Judge Lloyd, your reasons.
Just a great group from top to bottom. Congratulations to these exhibitors from top to bottom. But for me, quite a pair of heifers at the top of this class, but the calf that's going to lead out in first, just for me, just exemplifies what I'm looking for. Just so much balance, dairyness throughout. Tremendous set of feet and legs. It is the way she flows on her feet and legs that gets her over this long frame heifer coming out in second. Taking nothing away from this heifer in second. I wish she was mine. A heifer that just got so much shine, openness, dairy quality, that femininity up through her front end. Just like to see her flow a little smoother on her rear legs to get her any higher today. But it is the hardness of her chine, the fullness of her chine, the fullness of her forerib, the width of her chest that gets her over this tremendous long frame heifer coming out in third. Third over fourth, I switched at the end. She's a touch longer and leaner from head to tail than this really balanced heifer coming out. In fourth, I also give her advantage just being cleaner down through that bone of her hock. Heifer in fourth, I really admire the overall balance. A heifer that's just got tremendous rib structure, tremendous width throughout, just that overall balance to her frame that takes her over a really well-grown heifer coming out in fifth. But great group from top to bottom. Congratulations to the exhibitors.
Thank you, Judge Lloyd. The summer yearlings will be entering the ring. The next several classes will have about 6 entries each, so please plan accordingly. Fall heifer calf results as you read down your program: 276th, 271 5th, 273 third, 274 was our second place heifer for Braxton, Finley, and Grayson Elsaw with Quiet Silver Brielle Red ET, 275 12th, 276 9th, 277 15th, 278 16th, 279 was your winning entry for Plainfield Farms and Ackley with Ackley PF All-Star Red ET, 280 10th, 281 7th, 282 11th, 283 14th, 284 13th, 285 4th, and 286 8th. Summer yearlings are now in the ring. Please bring your spring yearlings to the ringside.
Did you pronounce that Musi? Is that what they just told us? Musi, yeah. In our spring yearling class, second goes to Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musi with Old Bankston PV Baywatch. And winning the class, entry 389, also Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musi with Lookout Auto Piper. Judge Benter.
This heifer starting off our class today is just made so different. She is so feminine and stylish from end to end, has so much balance and angularity. And I know she's not the biggest heifer, but to me, she's the most complete heifer in the class. And it's that completeness and femininity that gets us over this nice, well-grown heifer here in second. I love the frame of this heifer. Just gonna pick on her feet and legs just a little bit. I'd like to see her handle just a little bit smoother. But it's that length and extension to the neck, the size and scale that gets us over this really deep and open heifer here in third. Heifer here in third, I really appreciate the spring and openness to her barrel. Just a heifer that we'd like to see just a little more feminine in her front third and maybe track a little bit straighter on those rear legs. But it's the way that she holds herself together over that top line today and the depth and openness to her rib that gets over this tall heifer here in fourth. Heifer here in fourth, I really love the upstandingness of this heifer. I think she's got a lot of the right parts and pieces. Just would like to see her handle herself just a little bit better on those rear legs. Maybe give her a little more length in that rear third, but I appreciate the size and scale and strength of this heifer. And it's that size, scale, and strength that gets us over this nice heifer in fifth. Heifer in fifth just needs a little more straightness of lines, depth and openness, and tracking on a better set of feet and legs to get any higher today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. In the spring yearling class for Ayrshire Show, in your program's entry, 392 was fourth, 391 sixth, 389 was the winner of the class, Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey with Lookout Auto Piper. Entry 394 was fifth, 390 was second in the class, also Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey with Old Bankston's PV Baywatch, and entry 393 was third. Now showing our winter yearling Ayrshire heifers.
Judge Lloyd has completed his placings for our summer yearling class. Second place, entry 288, Lindauer Style Aspire Red ET, exhibited by Nevin and Brenda Lamoureux. And our winning entry 289 for Plainfield Farms S, Creek Acres Ace Daisy Red. Judge Lloyd, your reasons.
Just four heifers out here, and for me, a handy winner. This heifer pulling out in first. A heifer that's just got so much width throughout. A heifer that's got a long frame, but I just love the rump structure. It's the overall width, the hardness at the top that takes her over the heifer that's coming out in second. Second and third, a closer place, and for me, just prefer the way the heifer in second handles her rump at all times. I prefer the pitch to her rump structure. She's harder through that crop region than the heifer coming out in third. Third over fourth, just so much more width and length throughout. I also prefer the way she handles her feet and legs. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Lloyd. Placings on the summer yearling class, entry 287 was fourth, 288 was second for Nevin and Brenda Lamoureux with Lindauer Style Aspire Red ET. 289 was our winning entry for Plainfield Farms with S, Creek Acres Ace Daisy Red. 290 was scratched, and 334 placed third. Spring yearlings are in the ring. Please bring your winter yearlings to ringside.
In our winter yearling class in our Ayrshire Show, second was entry 422, Brian Klein with Klein's Vikings Victory, and winning the class entry 396, Justin Fox and Haley Steck with My Line RC Get Chills. Judge Benter.
Here in our Ayrshire Winter Yearling class, I'm going to go ahead and use the young man heifer. Just has so much more frame and capacity all the way through. She's harder over that top, shows us more depth and openness, especially in that rear rib today. And she uses that strength and capacity to get us over this really nice made heifer here in second. Heifer in second, there's a lot to like about this heifer. We appreciate the smooth blending of parts. Maybe just like to make her a little taller at the point of the withers and give her just a little more depth in that rear rib to compete with our class winner today. but it's her smooth blending of parts and her overall femininity, especially in that front third, that gets us over this heifer here in third. Heifer in third, I appreciate the uphill run of this heifer. Just would like to make her a little more feminine and clean, especially at the point of the withers, and give her just a little more width between those hocks and handle a little bit more freely to compete with our two winners. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. In the winter yearling class, 422 was second, Brian Klein. Klein's Vikings victory. Entry 395 was third, and 396 was winner of the class, Justin Fox and Haley Steck with My Line RC Get Chills. Now showing our fall yearlings of our Ayrshire show. In our fall yearling class for Ayrshire show, second goes to 397 Berg Farms with Pineheart, Reagan, Sage, and winning the class 398 Headings Homestead and Elmhurst with Top Glen, Wishful's War Chest. Judge Benter.
Here in our fall yearling class, just two different makes and models, parts and pieces that we'd like to change about both of them, but it's the overall dairiness and femininity and curving thigh of this first heifer that wins the class today. I'd really like to probably strengthen this heifer up over her top line today, but it's that femininity and style all the way through that gets us over this strong, powerful heifer here in second. Heifer here in second, I appreciate the straightness of lines, just would like to make her a little more dairy all the way through. Young man said that she is due in October, so we're okay with a little bit of flesh, but just would like to see her a little more feminine to compete with our class winner today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Again, in our fall yearling class, entry 397 was second, Berg Farms with Pineheart, Reagan, Sage, and winning the class was entry 398, Headings Homestead and Elmhurst with Top Glen, Wishful's War Chest. We'll now show for junior champion of our Ayrshire show.
Placings in your spring yearling class, second to Braxton Elsa with Sonnenbrook R Adobe Ready T, and our winning entry 335 exhibited by Ackley and Jim and Val Spring with Ms. Eatonholm Blossom Red. Judge, your reasons.
Really, really good group of heifers here, but the heifer in first for me, just my kind of heifer, just spells dairiness, so lean and clean throughout. I'll give her advantage being cleaner up through that front end, through that brisket area. She's a cleaner through the leg. Prefer the way she actually tracks on her feet and legs over this massive heifer coming out in second. Taking nothing away from this heifer in second. I really had to analyze them when they were spread apart to see which one I liked better. Easy when I got them in line, but taking nothing away from the heifer in second. Tremendous rib structure, hard top heifer. She has that advantage of just being more complete, more straighter in her lines, especially over top than this beautiful heifer coming out in third. Third over fourth, I just give her advantage being cleaner through that hock region. She stands a little more square on her front legs than a heifer in fourth. But told the two ladies here, just a great group from top to bottom. Four really nice heifers. Congratulations to all.
Thank you, Judge Lloyd. Placings in our spring yearling class, entry 261 was second. Sonnenbrook R Adobe Ready T, exhibited by Braxton Elsaw. 292 was third. 331 was fourth. 335 was your winning entry for Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring. Ms. Eatonholm Blossom Red. Now entering the ring will be our winter yearlings. Please have your fall yearlings on deck, and class will be followed by our junior champion.
Showing for junior champion of our Ayrshire show from our spring heifer calf class. First was Tanner Top with Top Glen Reynolds Wishy, and second was Brian Klein with Klein's Wisher's Riddle Riot. From the winter heifer calf class, first was Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring with Hidden Springs Reynolds Raven, and second was Tanner Top with Top Glen Whatcha Thinkin'. From the fall heifer calf class, first was Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring with Palmyra Reynolds M. Georgie, and second was Audrey Lammers with Bricker Farm King Cincy. From the summer yearling class, first was Keith Bartow with Link C. Bejeweled, and second was Morgan Eads with Darby View Destin's Dream. And from the spring yearling class, first was Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey with Lookout Auto Piper. And second was Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey with Old Bankston's PV Baywatch. From the winter yearling class, first was Justin Fox and Haley Steck with My Line RC Get Chills. And second was Brian Klein with Klein's Vikings Victory. And concluding the classes was the fall yearlings. First was Headings Homestead and Elmhurst with Top Glen Wishful's War Chest. And second was Berg Farms with Pinehart Reagan Sage.
out here for our Ayrshire Junior Champion. I went ahead and pulled out 6. I think these 6 heifers are kind of, what I'm looking for in my heifer. We have a lot of straightness to lines. We have a lot of depth and capacity, all while having that strength, style, and balance all the way through. And I think these are just great representatives of the Ayrshire breed. They're different in their make, but for me, these are the kind of heifers that I'm looking for. I'll go out and select you a Junior Champion, a Reserve Junior Champion, and then an honorable mention, and then I'll hop back on the mic here. When this junior yearling hit the ring, just such a complete heifer. I love the style, the balance, the angularity, the way that she handles on those rear legs. If we'd like to change her anywhere, maybe just a little more length and extension in that neck, but that's being awfully picky on a beautiful, beautiful made heifer. For reserve, I'm going to go ahead and go with our winner calf that I think follows along the same lines. I love the femininity all the way through. Shows me a lot of depth and capacity for her age. And then we're going to go ahead and use the senior calf, cut from the same cloth. And, just 3 beautiful, beautiful heifers to be our champion, reserve, and honorable mention. Congratulations to all our exhibitors.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Junior champion of our Ayrshire show is the spring yearling owned by Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Muse. Lookout Otto Piper. Congratulations. Reserve junior champion is the winner calf owned by Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, Hidden Springs Reynolds Raven, an honorable mention to the fall heifer owned by Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, Palmyra Reynolds M. Georgie. We will now show our futurity when they complete pictures.
Placing second in our winter yearling class went to Audrey M. Brady Seidel with Millionaire Azalea Ready T, and our winning entry number 294, Prelude, Ohio, with Doloy K. Rompin Grace Red. Your reasons, Judge Lloyd.
6 nice heifers again from top to bottom and all a little different, but this heifer for me a handy winner. Heifer that just wins it on her overall dairy quality, dairiness. She's crisper than the heifer coming out in second. Heifer that just has a tremendous set of feet and legs. She's got a beautiful wide rump. And but it's the overall dairiness that takes her over the heifer coming out in second. Second over third, giving her advantage in that thorough placement, the way she tracks on the rear legs. The heifer maybe a touch overdone, but heifer just puts it all complete together for me. Prefer the openness of that rib structure. Heifer in third, a heifer I'd like to see a little fuller, but I just admire that dairiness. Just a beautiful set of feet and legs. Second best legged heifer in the class, and it is her way she tracks on her rear legs that takes her over this very complete heifer coming out in fourth. Fourth place heifer, this young girl fighting with her, she's doing a great job. She's a heifer that's not huge, but I love the openness of her rib structure. She got a big old barrel on her, and it is that openness of her rib structure that gets her over the next 2 heifers coming out. 6 really good heifers from top to bottom. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Lloyd. Final placings in the winter yearling class. Entry 293 was third. 294 was our winning entry for Prelude, Ohio, with Doloy K. Rompin Grace Red. 295 was fourth. 296 fifth. 297 was our second place entry for Audrey M. Brady Seidel with Millionaire Azalea Ready T. And entry 298 was sixth. The fall yearlings are now in the class. There are 3 entries, and this will be followed by junior champion. Please have your first and second place animals from the calf classes this morning and the heifers for the selection of junior champion, which will then be followed by junior best 3 females.
We will now show our Ayrshire fraternity. So entering the ring first will be entry 401. Is 401 here? Go. .401 is owned by Tanner Top Glen Whimsical Thinking. I thought they were. Entry 400 will be next. Hannah Graham with Bricker Farms Chatty. Next is entry 399, Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms Cardi B. Next is entry 403, Schlau and Bricker with Bricker Farms R Cadillac. And concluding the class is entry 402, Tanner Top with Top Glen B Make-A-Wish.
Judge Lloyd has concluded the placings in the fall yearling class. Second to entry 300, Ms. M.K. Rompin Red Velvet Red, exhibited by M.K. Genetics, and the winning entry number 301, Flower Brook Helene Red E.T., exhibited by Plainfield Farms. Judge, your reasons.
Well, I took a little bit of time on this class, and I know there's just three, and they're three fall yearlings, and they're all completely different. And the young man pulling out in first here for me just today just tracks so beautifully. She puts all 4 feet down, a little neater. Heifer that just maybe doesn't have the openness as the heifer does in second, but I just prefer the way she flows. I talk about feet and legs flowing, standing square in all four. And she beats the heifer in second on that today. I admire the heifer in second. Just tremendous, tremendous width throughout. Openness of her rib structure. Just want to see her flow a little smoother. I understand she has a little bit of an injury on her right front foot, and you could see the way she stands on it. But it is her overall width and power that takes her over a beautiful heifer coming out in third. Third place heifer, a heifer, big enough for me. Just so pretty, so feminine. Just I talk about width and power and in front ends. Just like to give her a little more front end, a little bit more power to get any higher today. But three tremendously nice heifers. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Lloyd. Placing in your fall yearling class, entry 299 was third, 300 was second for MK Genetics, Ms. MK Rompin Red Velvet Red. And our winning entry number 301 for Plainfield Farms, Flower Brook Helene Red ET. Now entering the ring are our contenders for junior champion. In the spring calf class, first went to Delaney, Callie, and Cooper Barber with Beer Crest, Odd Bluff. Second spring calf went to Wakefield Holstein Farms with Wakefield HS Georgia Red. Our winter heifer calf winner was exhibited by Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey with AC PF All the Rage Red ET. Second winter calf was exhibited by MK Genetics, Miley Alpha GG Red. Our fall heifer calf winner was Plainfield Farms with AC PF All-Star Red ET, and that is exhibited by Plainfield Farms and Ackley. Second place in that fall heifer calf class went to Braxton, Finley, and Grayson Elsaw. Quiet Silver, Brielle Red ET. The winning summer yearling, S. Creek Acres Ace Daisy Red, exhibited by Plainfield Farms. And second summer yearling, Nevin and Brenda Lamoureux with Lindlauer Style Aspire Red ET. Our spring yearling winner, exhibited by Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring, was Miss Eatonholm Blossom Red, and second to Braxton Elsaw with Sonnenbrook R Adobe Red ET. Our winter yearling winner was exhibited by Prelude Ohio with Dorlo K Rompin Grace Red. Second winter yearling went to Audrey and Brady Seidel, Millionaire Azalea Red ET. In the class that just left the ring, our fall yearlings, first went to Plainfield Farms with Flower Brook Helene Red ET, and second to MK Genetics with Ms. MK Rompin Red Velvet Red. These are your contenders for junior champion of the Red and White Show.
In our futurity class of our Ayrshire show, in second place is Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms Cardi B, and winning the class, is Schlau and Bricker with Bricker Farms R Cadillac. Judge Benter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a huge round of applause, please. We're 5 cows deep here, and I think these cows can go on and compete at any age, at any stage. And, it gave me just a little bit of difficulty separating this class. But when we get down to the basics, I think this cow that wins this class, I just prefer the way that she tracks out on those rear two. Just so dairy and feminine all the way through. Just has a smooth and silky hide. Shows me a lot of depth and substance. And I love the strength of attachments that this cow shows me. But it's the way that she handles, and she's just a little bit taller and longer in her frame that gets us over this tremendously beautiful uddered cow here in second. This cow in second, I love the width of this mammary system, the definition of seam. I'd like to see her stand up a little bit steeper on that toe, but what a beautifully made blending cow that follows our champion very well. But it's her overall femininity and the strength of attachments that gets us over this tremendously framed cow here in third. Cow here in third, I love the uphill run, the length from end to end. Just would like to see probably a little more width to the mammary system. Maybe hold that a little bit higher above the hocks to compete with our top two today. But it's her overall frame and the way that she holds herself together on the move that gets us out of this very feminine cow here in fourth. Cow in fourth, I really appreciate the definition of seam on this cow. Just one that I'd like to give a little more strength just up there in that chest and just all the way through. But she uses that bloom and capacity to the mammary system and overall that definition of that crease to get us over that really stylish cow in fifth. Just what a tremendous futurity. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. In your program's entry, 399 was second in the futurity, Carly Bankley with Bricker Farms Cardi B. Entry 400 was fourth, and entry 403 was the winner of the class, Schlau and Bricker with Bricker Farms R Cadillac. Entry 402 was fifth, and 401 was third. We'll now show our summer junior 2-year-old Ayrshires. Also, a couple of announcements for the exhibitors. Please remember to pay all your feed bills before you leave today. Get paid up on your feed bills if you're leaving today or by tomorrow. Also, a reminder, at 5 o'clock this evening, there will be the Youth Incentives Award take place here in Cooper Arena. So please come join and celebrate the youth.
Ladies and gentlemen, not a lot of people in here, but these guys really deserve a big round of applause. Let's put our hands together for these red exhibitors and breeders. Yeah, well, thank you. Anyways, taking nothing away, it was a really enjoyable heifer show for me today, and I tried to talk through some things and what I like and what I don't like. But for me, I pulled out this first place winner calf. Calf that's got so much width and power throughout it. Something I talk about all day long is front end width, power, the way they stand on their front legs, wide muzzles. Just a complete calf, a lot of openness. And then the fall calf, not a huge calf by no means, just flows around the ring, just a beautiful foot and leg to this heifer, just so clean, so balanced, end of September heifer. Summer yearling heifer, a heifer again with so much width and power throughout, stands so square on that front end, and a spring yearling, again, just a complete heifer. And I pulled out the second prize, spring yearling, a heifer that just like maybe clean up a touch up through the front end, down through the hock. And then our big fall yearling from a guy that milks cows and calves cows. The older they get, for us, it's harder to keep them in shape, and she just has a beautiful set of feet and legs, and heifer that just flows around the ring. At this time, I'll go out and I'll select your junior champion, your reserve, and your honorable mention in that order, and then I'll come back and give my reasons for what I've done. The spring yearling, fall calf, December calf. That's the order. Taking nothing away from the other three. But for me, this spring calf, fall calf, 2 peas in a pod. Heifers, the big dairy industry talk, our cows are too big. These are perfect size heifers to make perfect size cows. They walk on tremendous, tremendous feet and legs. The biggest thing for me, the spring yearling took the show. She's just complete. She's dairy. She's open. Love the head and neck. Gave her the advantage of her length of frame over the fall calf. Fall calf for me, just so awesome. Just feet and legs beats the December calf on her feet and legs. She's cleaner in that bone. Prefer the way she tracks around the ring. Taking nothing away from this beautiful open December calf. But three awesome heifers. Awesome heifer show. Congratulations to all. Thanks for having me come out to Ohio.
Thank you, Judge Lloyd. Our junior champion of the red and white show went to Ms. Eatonholm Blossom Red, exhibited by Jay Ackley and Jim and Val Spring. She came from our spring yearling class. The reserve junior champion was exhibited by Plainfield Farms and Ackley. She was AC PF All-Star Red ET and was the winning fall heifer calf. Honorable mention junior champion came from our winter heifer calf class, Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey with AC PF All the Rage Red ET. Thank you, Judge Lloyd, for placing our red and white show heifers, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for our cow classes.
In the summer junior 2-year-old class, second goes to entry 423, Brian Klein with Klein's Ringers Cookie Dough, and winning is Golden Ray Guernseys with Ski Pal Reynolds Caribbean. Judge Benter.
Here in our class is Summer Junior 2, a class that we have to make just a little bit of compromise on, but I'm going to win the class with a cow that's just a little more put together from end to end, blends a little more stylish from neck to shoulder, shoulder to body, gives me a little more definition of seam, and I really prefer her in that rump, just a little bit cleaner and neater in that rump today. I'll be the first to admit that's probably a little bit more mature udder than I'd like to see on a Summer Junior 2, but a cow that it's the levelness of rump and then the blending of parts. I really appreciate this cow here in second. I love the length from end to end. She's got the more youthful mammary system. Just would like to just make her a little more flatter in that rump, maybe give her a little more width of chest today, and then, just give her a little more definition of seam. 2 nice cows. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Again, placings were 423 was second, Brian Klein with Klein's Ringers Cookie Dough, and winning the class entry 404, Golden Ray Guernseys, Ski Pal Reynolds Caribbean. Now showing our junior 2-year-old Ayrshire cows. To all, while you're here at the fair, make sure you head over to the brand new Ohio Ag Center presented by Nationwide, located on the east side of the fairgrounds. You can find the Taste of Ohio Cafe with your favorite foods from the commodity groups. Check out the Ohio Proud Showcase from the Ohio Department of Agriculture and see OVMA Animal Life and Learning Center plus horticultural exhibits. And finally, the Ohio Ag Center is home to Imagine Ag, a 75,000 square foot hands-on exhibit presented by Ohio's Farm Bureau and ag industry partners and sponsors. Step into the future of farming with interactive activities like Crop Invaders and Weather Wonder Lab. It's all in the Ohio Ag Center presented by Nationwide on the east side of the fairgrounds. more recently. In the junior 4-year-old class for Ayrshire show, entry 405 is second, Hannah Graham with Bricker Farms Chatty, and winning the class is entry 409, Tanner Top with Top Glen Whimsical Thinking. Judge Benter.
Here in our Ayrshire junior 2-year-old cow class, just 2 cows that separate themselves to the top pretty handily for me. Cows that we saw in our futurity, but it's the frame on this first cow that really wins the class for me. The frame and the way that that neck blends in into that shoulder into the body wall, and the sweep and the openness to the rib. Cow that gives me just a tick more width, maybe up there in the chest, but it's the frame and blending of parts. I really like this cow in second in terms of her mammary system. Just would like to make her a little bit harder over that top. And I told the young lady a tick of weight on this cow would do her just a little bit of good. But a cow that uses her overall length from the tip of her nose to her tail, and just overall completeness and balance to get over our more compact made cow here in third. Cow in third, I really appreciate the width of this mammary system. A cow that's very clean in her own right and flat in her rump. Just would like to say a little bit more length from end to end, a little more size to compete with our class winners. But it's the way that she carries that mammary system and handles herself on those rear legs that gets us over this nice, well-grown cow in fifth. Cow in fifth, just would like to make her a little neater over that top line, give her a little more definition to that seam and more width to the mammary system to compete with our class winners today. Congratulations.
Placings in the junior 2-year-old class, entry 405 was second, Hannah Graham with Bricker Farms Chatty, 407 fourth, 408 third, and winning the class entry 409, Tanner Top with Top Glen Whimsical Thinking. Now showing our senior 2-year-old Ayrshires. In our senior 2-year-old class for Ayrshire show, entry 410 was second, Tanner Top with Top Glen B, Make a Wish. And winning the class, entry 399, Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms Cardi B.
Here in our Ayrshire senior 2-year-old cow class, again, just a cow that I love from end to end. So much style, balance. We love the spring and arch to the rib, the levelness of the rump. And I think the best feature on this cow is her mammary system. That shape, turn, and width to the rear udder, the smooth blending fore. Just a cow that we can't say enough nice things about. But it's the rear udder, the attachment and definition of seam that gets us over this beautiful frame cow here in second. Cow here in second, I love the length from end to end. She's so straight in her lines. Just needs a little more width and overall shape and turn to that udder to compete with our champion. But it's the length from the tip of the nose to the tail, the size, the scale, and just a little more width and youthful mammary system that gets us over the cow here in third. Cow here in third is just a very good cow in her own right, just made a little more differently. Maybe you'd like to see her just a little taller and just a little bit longer and have just a little bit more quality to that mammary system to compete with our winners today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. In our senior 2-year-old class in your programs, 399 was the winner of the class, Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms Cardi B. Entry 411 was the futurity winner. 410 was second, Tanner Top, Top Glen B, Make a Wish. And entry 406 was third. Now showing our junior 3-year-old cow. In our junior 3-year-old class for Ayrshire show, winner is Emerald Farms with Four Hills Our Vanity. Judge Benter.
Just one entry here, but a cow that we love for the frame. Just a beautiful uphill run. So much sweep and openness to the rib. Young lady said she's been milking over a year. Just a cow that we'd love to see fresh again. And, just a well-deserving of a blue ribbon today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Again, the winner in our junior 3-year-old class was Emerald Farms with Four Hills Our Vanity. Now showing our senior 3-year-old Ayrshire cow. In our senior 3-year-old class, the winner is Tanner Top with Top Glen Play With It. Judge Benter.
Just a single entry again, but what a beautiful cow. So correct all the way through. The straightness of lines, the way that she handles on those feet and legs, the levelness to the udder fore, the strength of attachments. Just a beautiful cow that the young man brings out and could stand quite a bit of competition. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Again, the winner in our senior 3-year-old class was Tanner Top with Top Glen Play With It. Now showing for intermediate champion of our Ayrshire show. 2-year-olds. Junior 2-year-olds. Marissa. Yes. All right. Yep. Showing for intermediate champion of our Ayrshire show. The futurity winner is entry 403, Schlau and Bricker with Bricker Farms R Cadillac. Next is the Summer Junior 2-year-old winner, Golden Ray Guernseys with Ski Pal Reynolds Caribbean. And second was Brian Klein with Klein's Ringer's Cookie Dough. From the junior 2-year-old class, first was Tanner Top with Top Glen Whimsical Thinking. And second was Hannah Graham with Bricker Farms Chatty. From the senior 2-year-old class, first was Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms Cardi B. And second was Tanner Top with Top Glen B Make-A-Wish. And from the junior 3-year-old class, first was Emerald Farms with Four Hill R Vanity. And from the senior 3-year-old class, Tanner Top with Top Glen Play With It.
Out here for our intermediate champion. I contemplated, moving this side rail here and pulling all of them out. But to me, I think there's just 3 out here that are just completely next level for their age and stage of the game. So I only pulled out 3. But boy, oh boy, the people in the stands on that side would have been pretty envious of our view over here a while ago. We've just had beautiful udders here in our Ayrshire show, and even some of the last place cows have been tremendous in their own right. But for me, these are my making kind, and that the kind that I try and breed for, and that our family looks to show. But I'll go out and I'll select you a intermediate champion, reserve, and honorable mention. This futurity winner, she just gives you cold chills on a hot day, goosebumps. I just love this cow. There's hard to find a flaw in this cow. The femininity, the sweep, the depth, and the mammary system, just a complete cow all the way through. And we're going to follow her with our other second place that was in the futurity. Forget exactly what age that cow was, but in terms of mammary system, just gives me a little more shape and turn than our honorable mention, but just 3 tremendous cows all the way through. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. The intermediate champion of the Ayrshire Show is the futurity winner of Schlauenbricker, Bricker Farms R. Cadillac. An reserve intermediate champion is the senior 2-year-old and second futurity cow owned by Carly Binkley, Bricker Farms Cardi B. An honorable mention to the senior 3-year-old owned by Tanner Top Glen Play With It. We will now conclude the rest of our cow show, beginning with our 4-year-old Ayrshire cows. Also, our intermediate champion was Best Bred and Owned in Ohio. Congratulations to Schlau and Bricker. That again was Bricker Farms R Cadillac. In the 4-year-old cow class, the winner's entry 414, Brian Klein with Margot Caramel, Judge Benter.
Just one entry in our 4-year-old cow class. Just a lot to love about this cow. The straightness of the lines, so feminine all the way through. She's had 3 calves in just fresh a month, and then we get to the mammary system, carries that well above the hocks for her age, a lot of width and quality. Just a cow that could stand quite a bit of competition. Congratulations.
Closely related to some we have, but in our 5-year-old class, the winner is entry 415, Top View PC with Kingsire Jazzy, Judge Benter.
Again, just a single entry, but a cow that has the adequate amount of dairiness to strength for me. Just a cow that we would really appreciate for her frame. Just a cow that spells milk in terms of her mammary system. Pretty snugly attached in both the fore and rear. Just a beautiful entry for the young man. Well deserving of a blue ribbon today. Congratulations.
Again, in the 5-year-old class, the winner was Top View PC with Kingsire Jazzy, now showing our aged Ayrshire cows. Where's the other one? In the age cow class, second is entry 416 Emerald Farms with Emerald Farms Sweet Delight. And winning is 417 Brian Klein with Klein's Thrills Tabby. Judge Benter.
Really close placing in our age cow class. I think cows that you could talk either way, but from a functionality standpoint, I'm going to win the class with the cow that's walking on the better set of feet and legs. Gives me a little bit more strength and power, especially up there in that width and chest, and I really appreciate the uphill run of this cow, and probably is a little more level on the udder floor today. Taking nothing away from this big framey cow, really appreciate her. I love the smooth blending of the fore udder. Just would like to see her track out just a little bit better on those feet and legs, and maybe have just a tick more width of that chest to get around our class winner today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Again, in our age cow class, entry 416 was second, Emerald Farms with Emerald Farms Sweet Delight. And entry 417 was the winner of the class, Brian Klein with Klein's Thrills Tabby. Now showing our production cow of our Ayrshire show. In our production class, the winner's entry 418, Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms Gibbs Carvella. Judge Benter.
Just a single entry, but boy, oh boy, what a beautiful age 11-year-old cow. Young man said she's been milking a little bit over a year. Just has so much dariness, so much style, balance, angularity. We get to that mammary system, and it's still held above the hocks. It's high. It has that shape and turn. Just can't say enough nice things about this cow. I wish all cows could age this gracefully and this beautifully. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Again, your production winner's entry 418, Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms Gibbs Carvella. Now showing for senior champion of our Ayrshire show. Showing for senior champion is our winning 4-year-old, owned by Brian Klein, Margot Caramel. Our winning 5-year-old, owned by Top View PC, Kingsire Jazzy. From the age cow class, again owned by Brian Klein, Klein's Thrills Tabby. And second was Emerald Farms with Emerald Farms Sweet Delight. And from the production class, owned by Carly Binkley, Bricker Farms Gibbs Carvella.
Out here for senior champion, we bring back our 5 older cows here, and just very quality in their own right. I think just tremendous examples of the Ayrshire breed. I'll go out and select you a senior champion, a reserve senior champion, honorable mention, then hop back on the mic. To me, there was never a question where I was going with this. Just a cow that has aged so beautifully, so gracefully, and when we examine her part for part, it's just tremendous everywhere. Just a cow that, again, not enough nice things to say about, and I'm a guy that appreciates a beautifully aged old cow. For a reserve, it gets just a little bit closer, but I think our first place 5-year-old follows our champion just a little bit closer in terms of frame and capacity in turn to that mammary system. But that 4-year-old's just a month fresh. I think we give her some time, and she can compete for our reserve senior. So 3 tremendous cows. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Benter. The senior champion of our Ayrshire show is the production winner, owned by Carly Binkley, Bricker Farms, Gibbs Carvella. Reserve senior champion is the 5-year-old, owned by Top View PC, Kingsire Jazzy. An honorable mention to the 4-year-old, owned by Brian Klein, Margot Caramel. Showing for grand champion of our Ayrshire show, our junior champion, owned by Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, and Jesse and Kylie Musey, Lookout Auto Piper. And our reserve junior champion, also owned by Jay Ackley, Jim and Val Spring, Hidden Springs Reynolds Raven. Our intermediate champion, owned by Schlau and Bricker Farms R Cadillac. And our reserve intermediate champion, owned by Carly Binkley, Bricker Farms Cardi B. And for senior champion, our production winner, owned by Carly Binkley, Bricker Farms Gibbs Carvella. And the reserve senior champion, owned by Top View PC, Kingsire Jazzy.
Well, let's go ahead and give all our Ayrshire exhibitors a round of applause. We've seen quality through and through, and we bring back our junior champion, our intermediates, and our seniors, and just cows that are just beautiful, and the heifer in her own right as well. But to me, this is what it's all about. When it's a lot of hard work getting these kind of cows out, and just really appreciating the quality that we've seen today. I'm gonna go select you a champion, a reserve, and an honorable mention, and hop back on the mic. to me, it's super, super close. But in terms of, what I'm going with my champion is I love and appreciate good old cows, but this young cow's just been Johnny on the spot since she came in today. Again, in terms of I just love this cow from end to end, and taking nothing away from our old cow. She's very beautiful in her own right. It was just hard for me to deny our 2-year-old champion. And then just the frame of this cow and the quality of the mammary system gets her over our reserve intermediate champion. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our grain champion, the winning futurity cow and intermediate champion, owned by Schlau and Bricker. Bricker Farms are Cadillac. Our reserve grain champion was our senior champion and production winner, owned by Carly Binkley, Bricker Farms, Gibbs Carvella. An honorable mention grain went to Carly Binkley with Bricker Farms, Cardi B. Congratulations. Breeders herd. It doesn't say who that. You already took the Ammon daughter, so what's the point? Looks like they're coming out breeders herd. I was just going to wait and kind of do it all at once. Those are the two you got there, or do you want to present them right now? I think maybe we should, 'cause I'm thinking they're not going to get breeders herd though, so I think we should wait. Binkley. Or Slough and Binkley, I don't know how it is. Or Bricker. No. We're almost done. Slough and Bricker. That's how I was announcing the charity winner. Yep, second. I'm not the official, so I just said I'm not the official, so I'm not the one to choose that. I would almost, each breed could even be different, but I don't know. Now they're going to go find a heifer. That was two. We'll go one. Our winner of our breeders herd and also our premier breeder and premier exhibitor is Top Glen. Congratulations, Judge Benter.
We bring back 2 entries here for her, but I'm going to go ahead with the entry closest to me. I just really prefer the uniformity of this group. We bring back, it'd be our reserve or honorable mention intermediate champion, a few class winners, and it's just the uniformity that gets us over our other group. Our other group's a very nice herd. You know, appreciate those in their own right, and you know, just we've had a beautiful show today. It's just been an honor and privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Benter. Appreciate your work today. Placings in our breeders herd were Top Glen first and Emerald Farms second. That concludes our Ayrshire show for today. Congratulations to everyone. Don't forget to be back here at 5 o'clock for the Youth Incentive Awards.